Ragini Nayak of the Congress, Nupur Sharma of the BJP, Yogendra Yadav of the Admi Party, Shazia Ilmi earlier with the Admi Party, and Arati Jerath, senior journalist. Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome. Yogendra Yadav, on the 25th of February 2014, on the campaign trail you said, it would be an insult as much to Rao Inderjit as to myself if we are described or referred to as Yadav politicians. That is caste politics, you said. I have never believed in caste politics, and I hope my work will put such allegations to rest. This is what you said. Now Yogendra Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal goes around and declares that he is a baniya, etc., etc. He openly plays the caste card. What is happening to your party?
Arnab, I don't know who's desperate. Is it Arvind Kejriwal who's desperate for votes? Or you desperate for a news that doesn't exist at all? I'm absolutely stunned to hear what you are saying. I think your entire story rests on two false premises. Number one, the word baniya in North India at least, and I hope you would understand the intonations, is not merely a reference to a jati, it's a reference to occupation.
I see.
Number two, you forget that he was not addressing an All India Vash Sammelan or a congregation of baniyas. He was addressing a meeting of traders. At least half of them do not belong to baniya jati.
Achha.
It would be utterly stupid and lunatic for someone to try and quote votes in a gathering where more than half the people belong to other jatis.
I see.
All he was saying was exactly like our Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister goes to New York. He says, "Main Gujarati hoon, main dhandha janta hoon." Or I said 4 days ago in a meeting of farmers, I said, I come from a farming community. I understand your pain about land.
So he's talking, no, when he said, no, watch it. So you're saying that he is, when he uses the word baniya, he means occupation and not caste. That's what you're saying. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it would be stupid or whether it would be lunatic for someone to ask whether traders do not belong to just one caste. Secondly, allow me to, I don't know whether it's stupid or lunatic to ask the problems faced by traders of one caste in the context of VAT and raids are problem faced by all traders, and yet Kejriwal chooses to single out only the word baniya. Why did he have to invoke the word baniya? And why didn't he speak in generic terms? Allow me to complete. See, Yogendra Yadav, allow me to complete. Why didn't he speak in generic terms about the problems faced on VAT? What does that have to do with baniya, non-baniya? Talk about VAT here. Talk about the issue. Why make these references, overt or covert?
Arnab, I think the problem comes from English journalists not understanding.
No, Mr. One second. Yogendra Yadav, don't be patronizing with me because it will not work. And if I tell you today that you are,
Arnab,
don't get into this English journalist, Hindi journalist thing.
Arnab,
don't try the patronizing card with me. Yogendra Yadav, we tried this before. You know it doesn't work with me. You try it with someone else. I am asking a serious question. Patronizing attitude nahi chalta hai. Aapse अच्छी हिंदी बोल लेता हूँ. नहीं, आप मेरी बात सुनिए, ये एटीट्यूड मत दिखाइए मेरे साथ योगेंद्र जी। आप सीनियर है मेरे से उम्र में भी, मगर मैं आपसे ये पेट्रोनाइजिंग एटीट्यूड बिल्कुल एक्सेप्ट नहीं करूंगा, क्योंकि कमेंट तो उन्होंने कहा है ना कि आई डिस्क्राइब माई सेल्फ एज अ ट्रेडर एंड आई नो द धंधा। नाउ आई कैन नो व्हाट इज इट मीन? पीपल हु आर नॉट बनिया डोंट अंडरस्टैंड धंधा। What kind of antediluvian argument is this? And on top of it, Mr. Yogendra Yadav, if you are going to now respond by saying that I am only going to now try and personally insult people on the program, I will not accept it because you have repeatedly accused others of playing caste politics. You now want to come to television and say, you don't understand Indian society. Only Yogendra Yadav understands Indian society. Then you must be dreaming, Mr. Yadav. Don't give us this, supercilious argument. Now, let's get a other perspective on this. Arati Jerath, Ragini Nayak, and Nupur Sharma also have a right to respond.
Would you allow me
I go to 1 minute. Ragini Nayak next. It's a political debate, Mr. Yadav.
I want to speak.
Yeah, sure you want to speak. Others also will speak, please. Ragini Nayak.
let me just tell you very simply that in North Indian
No, don't give me this thing. I ask a question. Oh, this is the problem with you English journalists. You don't understand. We understand well enough to counter you, to question you, and if required, to interrogate you on your double standards, Mr. Yadav. And I will continue to do it.
An anchor.
So that is the question to you. Arati Jerath.
Arnab, can I come in, please?
Yes, I think Yogendra Yadav was being very insulting to us English journalists.
Of course.
With this patronizing attitude that we don't understand anything just because we're English journalists. I mean, all of us, Arnab, you, me, so many of us, we've been in the field, we've been covering elections. Do we not understand the intricacies of language and caste and, you know, all the rest of it? I mean, I think this is really, I think Yogendra Yadav should take that back.
Yeah, he should take it back, but I'm not sure that he will. Because we ask a question, he says, मैं बनिया हूँ, मैं धंधा समझता हूँ. और इस पर कोई प्रश्न करे उनको तो कहेंगे कि इंग्लिश जर्नलिस्ट तो समझ में नहीं आती आपको बात. 1 second, Ragini Nayak.
I can.
No, Yogendra Yadav, you can't get away with that one. Ragini Nayak.
You know, please allow me to make my initial comment. You see, this is another desperate attempt by the Aam Admi Party to distort the essence of what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal said by using semantics. Please do not indulge in that. Now, coming to the essential question that we are debating tonight, I am a baniya and I understand dhandha or trade.
Exactly.
This explicit indulgence in identity politics is all the more offensive coming from Mr. Kejriwal because he is a politician who, while entering politics, gave the clarion call that he will be heralding a new kind of politics. He proclaimed that his party is a party with a difference which is going to break away from the existing brand of politics within the enfolds of the political system. He is a politician who created a perception that he is going to bring about immense positive change in the body politic of the country. And when this Mr. Arvind Kejriwal plays this caste and community card, I think we have to first of all, Arnab, draw this conclusion that the idea of the politics of the new which he created was only a political tool, was only a political tactic, was only a convoluted political game and never a profound transformation towards which he endeavored. Through his gimmickry and drama, through his governance deficit, through the n number of U-turns that he and his government took in the 49 days of governance, through the lack of commitment towards the Jan Lokpal bill, time and again Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is proven, and he has given another example that his speeches, his promises, his actions are only filled with opportunism.
No,
and
one
tonight,
second. My question is
this double standard and this desperation towards winning Delhi election at any cost.
No, the AAP's defense tonight. The AAP's defense tonight, Ragini Nayak. What's AAP's defense?
ये जो public है, ये सब जानती है. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal can fool some people all the time, all people sometimes, but he cannot fool all the people all the time.
Okay, Nupur Sharma. I'm only taking a turn. Nupur, please. Yes, Nupur.
All I'm going to say is that if he was only concerned about saying it's an occupation, then why did he have to use the word baniya?
Exactly, I don't understand that.
Actually falling, if you've said dhandha, then leave it at that.
Exactly.
And please try and understand, 1.5 saal se Kejriwal wasn't a baniya. All of a sudden he's a baniya, he's realized and only in a
No, I don't know. Maybe Mr. Yogendra Yadav will say that you're an English-speaking type and you don't understand what he's saying. Yogendra Yadav is Ragini Nayak also. Is Nupur Sharma English-speaking type as far as you're concerned? Are we all English-speaking types?
One more thing. Maybe he meant that you're not krantikari enough. Maybe he meant you're not krantikari enough for their liking.
English-speaking types.
Yeah, maybe we are all English-speaking types. 1 second.
You're not the
This is not the
krantikari
first
type.
time that they're indulging in identity politics.
No,
I can give n number of examples.
I'll give Yogendra Yadav a chance to respond. Shazia.
The novelty is that this is for the first time it's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
No, a valid question is asked today by Nupur that if you have to restrict yourself to occupation, you can say मैं धंधा जानता हूँ.
Yeah.
You don't have to say मैं बनिया हूँ, मैं धंधा जानता हूँ, and then say if you ask a question, oh, this is the problem with you supercilious, shallow, English-speaking journalists who don't understand anything. I mean, such a patronizing attitude. It's revolting.
But by the way,
Shazia.
Arvind Kejriwal is not a trader by occupation.
No, but how does it matter? Same as dhandha janta hu.
That would be wrong. That's the point.
He's not even a dhandha wala.
Okay, Shazia.
That's the point. You know, as an occupation.
No, 1 second. Yogendra Yadav will have to respond back.
Exactly.
Shazia is speaking.
Can I make a point?
Somebody just pointed it out. No, can I make a point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make a point? There's a lot of
brief one
is it my time to speak
I'm both
now?
the English-speaking type and the Hindi-speaking type.
Yeah.
And I really feel that this use of this language or this stereotype.
I can't see anything.
1 second. Please continue. Only Shazia is talking. I don't know what shouting you're talking about, Yogendra Yadav. Shazia is speaking. I'm sure you can hear her. Now, unless you want to heckle her verbally, please.
Arnab, I thought you had asked me to.
No, Shazia was speaking when you.
Tell me, because
Shazia is speaking, and after that, I will certainly come to you, Yogendra Yadav. Shazia.
Yes, sure. Let Shazia continue.
Yes.
So I think this referring to this stereotype of sorts, caste stereotype. First of all, Arvind was never a trader, a practicing trader, so to speak.
Yeah.
Arvind Kejriwal is a baniya by caste. So he was not. If he was referring, he was definitely referring to his caste, thereby making an appeal to the tradesmen, and catering to a stereotype of a sort. So let's not run away from that. See, when Mayawati talks about being a Dalit, a Jatav leader, when Mulayam Singh Yadav talks about identity politics ad nauseum and talks about the Muslim Yadav combined, you understand. But because of this party, because this party was a party that spelt a harbinger of new kind of politics, taking away from the stereotype identity politics, it comes as a surprise. It comes as a disappointment. So I think, yes, it was uncalled for. It does smacks of desperation of sorts. And Arvind should not have made this reference to calling himself a baniya and thereby making an appeal. But it is also a double-edged sword, because a lot of non-baniya votes that Arvind seeks to attract will actually be taken away, will be disappointed by this. So I don't know, it doesn't make great politics.
Yeah,
and yes, it is politically correct to say the least.
Okay,
and not expected from Aam Admi Party.
Yeah, and Shazia, you are not an English-speaking type or English-speaking journalist. The translation is simple. You don't need complex. We have all studied Hindi to some level. मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा समझता हूँ translates into I am from the trader community and I understand the trade. Now, if you say understand the trade, you say understand the trade. By dhandha janta, what's the reference to baniya all about? 1 second, you all given our perspectives. Let's hear Mr. Yogendra Yadav's response/defense. Yogendra Yadav.
Thank you, Arnab. I thought this moment won't come. I think we are making a non-issue over another non-issue. First non-issue is Arvind Kejriwal's statement. The second non-issue is my statement. Let me clarify my statement first of all. It is quite natural for a Hindi journalist to miss a nuance of an English proverb. It is quite, I understand Asmi's Arnab, but the nuance that you would understand is something I cannot understand, and there is nothing insulting if I say that I want to learn it from you. In Hindi, it's very common for people in villages to say, "Mere gaon ka baniya is jati se hai," which is other than baniya, because baniya is used in a occupational sense. Number two, I can understand the stereotyping bit of it, and I think Shazia has a point there. It is quite possible. Arnab, can you please allow me to speak? I've been listening to all of you for quite some time. All of you have the same opinion.
No, but it's just that everything that you're saying is getting up people who are on the debate, provoked enough to want to respond immediately. Nobody is going to stop you though, but you will complete your point, and after that you can respond. Nupur, Ragini and Shazia after Yogendra Yadav completes. Yes, come on.
Yes, I've been grateful if I am allowed to speak what I speak. This is a reference to a occupational community. Shazia, I think, has a fair point about stereotyping, and I think it would be a fair criticism to say that it is a stereotype because you're born in one community, you understand the problems of that occupation. I may have indulged in similar stereotype when I said 3 days ago, I'm from a farming family and I understand the problem of farmers. Someone can say, what do you understand? There's a bit of stereotyping. I would plead guilty to that. But to say this is casteist politics, this is
with respect, Yogendra Yogendra Yadav appears to most rational people.
Can you allow me
No,
to
Yogendra
speak?
Yadav, just 1 minute.
Or
Please,
would you like
everyone
me to
allow
shut
you.
up?
But
I
please
can shut up
understand
if
there
you
are
want.
mature adults on the program who are asking you certain questions and not all below intelligence, So the question is simply this. What you are trying to do, Yogendra Yadav, is I appreciate the valor with which you are trying to do what you are trying to do. What are you trying to do, Yogendra Yadav? You are trying to intellectualize the play of the caste card. Everybody is seeing this through. You can intellectualize it. You understand Indian society. We've studied social anthropology. We all know what we are talking about. You want to intellectualize the use of the caste card? Best of luck to you, Yogendra Yadav. I don't know how convincing this is going to be, though. When you do something on the ground, you can write a PhD thesis on it. It's not going to work. Ragini Nayak responding to Yogendra Yadav now. Ragini Nayak.
Arnab, you have not heard me
You
speak.
see, if
Can
Mr.
you
Arvind
please allow
Kejriwal-
me to speak on your program? What kind of a debate is
Yogendra
it?
Yadav,
Where
on a
everyone
debate,
has
you
the same
also have to
opinion
have
and
the
other person
patience
is
to
not
listen
being
to
You've been
others.
speaking for the last 2.5 minutes,
I-
Mr.
you know,
Yogendra
Mr. Yadav, you are getting very exasperated
there
when
are
others are
legitimate
responding to
questions that we
you.
want to
But
ask.
tell me, Yogendra Yadav, how can we resort to such unilateralism that whenever anybody else speaks, you say what kind of a debate? It is a debate in which there are 4 other panelists.
Arnab, I'm spending half the time in saying, please allow me to speak.
Yes, but do we all have to be convinced by what you're saying? No, but others also should get a chance to speak. Is it fair?
Arnab, you need not be convinced, but please listen to what I'm saying.
I just listened
Can
to
I
you for
demand
longer
this
than
of
I
you?
listened to others. Now, can
You have
others?
not.
Will you listen to
You
a few
have
others?
interrupted me several times. You have not allowed me to speak. And if you've asked,
so how much longer do you want to speak? You please continue. Okay, Yogendra Yadav, you please continue. When you finish, when we have your permission, then we will speak. So please continue.
I won't be long. Caste card is simply when a leader says one of the following things. I'm born in the same community as you. We have an affinity. Please vote for me. Number 2, our caste in which we are born is superior to others. We have certain claims more than others. Please do that. Or spread enmity. Those people are against us. Pit one against another. This is or to make distributional claims. We have this much quota. If Arvind Kejriwal says, I will appoint following baniyas to the cabinet, I will give baniyas the following kind of preservation.
Oh, no. What you are saying, again, now what you're doing is, what you're doing is, now first you intellectualized it. Now you are trying to complicate the use of the caste card by saying it has to go parallel with incentivization and affinity. And unless incentivization and affinity follow, it is not really a caste card. Now that's smart, but again it's not convincing because it comes from a party which said no castes, no creed, no lucrative slogans. Only development, only development. That's what the slogan of the Admi party was. And one of the things, Yogendra Yadav, of entering politics is every statement you make will be measured against your own.
They promised change.
Yes, Arvind, Arati Jerath.
Arnab, they promised change. Yeah, they promised
Can I, Arnab, please?
And they ended up sounding like all other political parties. They've been, I think the people of Delhi feel disappointed because they voted for Aam Aadmi Party with so much optimism and hope. And now the Aam Aadmi Party is beginning to sound like the BJP, the Congress, like any other party. So what's the difference?
Absolutely, and one doesn't need to get upset if questions are being asked. It's okay, the media will ask the questions. I know, you know what happened the last Delhi elections. You wouldn't come on channels that ask you tough questions. It's all right. We'll ask you the question. We disagree. It's an opinion. It's a debate. Right, now we'll ask Ragini Nayak and Nupur Sharma to also respond. Yes, Ragini Nayak and Nupur Sharma.
Arnab, you see, if Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was addressing an occupational community with no reference to caste, then this statement is a misfit and becomes nonsensical because Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has never been a trader or a businessman. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is calling himself a baniya because he is invoking certain intrinsic values which are associated by birth, by the virtue of being born in the community or the caste, which is known as baniya. So please do not sermonize others about semantics, about meanings of words and associations of meanings. So please do not try to confuse either the panelists or the public. Secondly, there are umpteen number of examples when the Aam Aadmi Party has played such caste card. I'll give you an example. Mr. Ashutosh was fielded from Chandni Chowk constituency of Delhi which predominantly has Muslim and baniya voters. Now Mr. Ashutosh, when he entered the political arena, was a renowned figure. But during the entire course of his journalistic career, we never got to know his caste. We never got to know that he's a baniya. As soon as he started campaigning for the elections, he started flaunting his caste. This is one example. Another example I can quote from Delhi is of Jarnail Singh, who was pitted in West Delhi constituency, which is again predominantly Sikh and Punjabi, or full of Sikh and Punjabi voters. So to say that the Aam Admi Party has never played caste cards or has never indulged in identity politics is a fallacious statement, but this time it is coming straight from the horse's mouth. So the fingers are being pointed at Mr. Kejriwal, who had proclaimed that the central ideology of his party is a crusade against corruption.
It's a good
and tell
point.
me if this is also not a form of corruption.
No, it's a very good point. No, it's a very good point. One second. Let us, before you move to your next.
One more thing, please allow me.
Before you move to your next.
I have high regards for Mr. Yogendra Yadav, but I have to mention this, that when Mr. Yogendra Yadav went to contest elections in Haryana in Gurgaon, he also flaunted his Haryanvi origin, and so did Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, so as to garner more votes from Haryana. This is also a kind of identity politics. So please do not preach us, please do not sermonize us.
Okay, now which one do we answer first? Which one do we answer first?
Arnab, let me add. Allow me to add my questions, Arnab.
The nature of the beast.
No, let's get a response one-on-one. 1 second. No, I think Nupur, it is better we lose the strain of thought. A couple of interesting points have been made right now.
But all I want to pick up.
Nupur.
All I want to pick up from what please allow me to complete. Otherwise, we'll forget what Mr. Yadav said. He tried to over-intellectualize and break down what casteism is. I'm sorry, Mr. Yadav. You actually gave the attributes of what Mr. Kejriwal was attempting to do in a trader meet in Nehru Place in Delhi. By saying I'm a baniya, by virtue of your birth, you are a baniya, and then by saying that मैं dhandha जानता हूँ, you're trying to create affinity with the community. So please tell me, if that is not casteism, what is? Now, secondly, I feel so desperate are you and your leader that you will try to do anything and change your pitch when it suits you for voters. In one statement, in the same meet, you're saying e-commerce is bad, but e-commerce is good for customers. I'm sorry. I mean, I never use the word U-turn, but I think it's a big U-turn, in fact, a round turn that the Aam Admi Party is doing now. And it's hilarious. All that you say in the media and in public is actually a big joke on the people of Delhi. I hope you realize that. And I'm really surprised you're trying to defend this.
Now, we've got a lot of responses.
Sheer hypocrisy.
May I please draw the first and most interesting point, which I want Yogendra Yadav to answer on. Because Yogendra Yadav, what is happening here is that it appears to me that you have wound yourself up in the complexities of your own argument. You say it is not caste, and you say this is the problem with you English-speaking journalists, that you don't understand, and then you said maybe you don't understand the nuances of the language, etc., and whatever. Regardless, all those other comments which you made. Now, the point here is this. I want to ask you, when was Arvind Kejriwal a trader?
Sorry, is it a question to me?
When was Arvind Kejriwal a trader?
To my knowledge, never.
Then how does he become a baniya?
But that is precisely the point that Shazia
then how does he become a baniya? Answer the question. How does he become a baniya?
Arnab, that's the point I just made 3 minutes ago. I said, yes, there is a stereotyping involved here.
Stereotyping?
In saying that people who are born in a caste have better affinity to a trade.
How does he become a baniya?
Yes,
you said Yogendra Yadav, that I am an English-speaking type journalist. I don't understand the nuances of the Hindi language. And then you went on to say, had you understood this, meaning to say that only people like you understand Indian society and people like me don't, which I completely disregard. And I think it's a patronizing, fallacious kind of comment, which I didn't respond to because I felt you were making a personal remark. Anyway, Yogendra Yadav, I don't respond to those remarks. My question is to you is purely factually, right? You said this was not a reference to a caste, it was a reference to an occupation. I am asking you, can you please tell me when was trading Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's occupation? As far as I know, he was a member of the Indian Revenue Service. how did he become a baniya if that was a reference to an occupation? And if it was not a reference to an occupation, then what was Mr. Arvind Kejriwal referring to?
Arnab, let me again say, all I said on the language question was that I perhaps know the nuances of my
forget that. I disregard your personal remarks, Yogendra Yadav. I have long since realized that I don't respond to politicians' personal remarks. Whether that comes from you, a BJP leader or a Congress leader, I don't respond to personal remarks. I have realized that it's part of the trade that when you ask a politician a tough question, he tries to get back at you personally. But Yogendra Yadav, you are elder to me. I don't want to respond to you personally, even if you choose to. My question is, please tell me, when was Yogendra Yadav a trader? Zara bataiye hame.
You mean to say
Arvind Kejriwal trader kab the? Arvind Kejriwal trader kab the? Mujhe bataiye. Arvind Kejriwal ki occupation, baniya ka occupation kab tha? Zara mujhe bataiye.
Is the questioning over?
Bataiye na.
Yeah. Now can I answer? I have been saying that there is a stereotype. If the charge was that Arvind Kejriwal stereotypes baniyas with knowing more trade than others, I would agree that yes, there is a
वो कैसे बनिया बन गए?
and I had
वो क्या उनका स्टेटमेंट क्या था? रागिनी और नुपुर उनका स्टेटमेंट क्या था? मैं बनिया हूँ। नहीं, उन्होंने कहा मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा जानता हूँ।
Caste card.
No, he said मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा जानता हूँ। He was never a trader. Was he now? You admit he was playing the caste card. Then he's playing the caste card. What makes him a baniya? Please tell me.
Mr. Yadav himself accepted.
No, but
Mr. Yadav accepted first. Yes, Shazia.
Yeah, he whatever the attributes he gave, they actually matched to saying that yeah, मैं बनिया हूँ by virtue of birth और मैं धंधा जानता हूँ.
Except yes, right.
He's pitching.
What is a caste card?
Oh, now what is a caste card?
That you are pitching for traders' vote.
He can only be a baniya by the virtue of his birth, by the virtue of being associated to the caste baniya and not the occupation which Mr. Yogendra Yadav is associating with the term baniya.
Yes.
I mean, this is as simple as that.
Exactly. So, you know.
The point I made right from the beginning was that he was not addressing the meeting of people of one jati. He was addressing the meeting of people of a certain
he said, no, first statement was मैं बनिया हूँ.
Point of bringing up baniya.
मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा जानता हूँ.
Traders are predominantly from the baniya caste.
No, what's it? The question is मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा जानता हूँ.
How many people were from
No,
baniya
the question is
community and
Yogendra
how many
Yadav.
people were not from baniya
Yogendra Yadav started by saying.
What was the point of bringing up baniya? Just say मैं धंधा जानता हूँ.
Just मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल हूँ, मैं धंधा जानता हूँ. मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा जानता हूँ, क्यों कह रहे थे वो?
और धंधा भी कहाँ जानता हूँ? He was a serviceman.
Actually, Arnab,
look, I just want all of you to understand that he was not addressing the meeting of one jati group. He was addressing traders group. And he was making to them promises which were occupation specific promises. Not one of his promises has anything to do with any caste.
Yogendra ji, व्यवसायिक समुदाय
still you are not admitting it, Yogendra Yadav.
ज्यादातर बनिया जाति से आता है, इसीलिए बनिया और व्यवसाय एक साथ जुड़ा हुआ देखा जाता है.
Yes, Arati Jerath.
No, Arnab,
Yes.
I'm saying that if Arvind Kejriwal was talking about tax issues, so actually if he had referred to his real occupation as a tax officer and said, I understand your problem, it would have made far more sense. Why didn't he raise that? Why didn't he say that I've been a tax officer, I know all your problems.
No, simple.
I know the problems you face, the corruption, that, this, that. He didn't. He talked about caste.
No, are you saying Yogendra Yadav, that, are you saying that, Shazia, what's it? The other option is, maybe Yogendra Yadav is meaning to say that Arvind Kejriwal was making the whole comment in some metaphorical manner. Is that what he was making? Was the metaphorical comment? मैं बनिया हूँ और धंधा. I mean, Yogendra Yadav, tell me, why are politicians so rigid now? You make a mistake, you play the caste card, you're caught red-handed, you're questioned, you try to explain, your explanation does not hold, you realize your mistake. Why can't a politician simply say, we won't do it again? I'm sorry.
In fact,
Why? What is it?
That's not working.
Arnab?
That's not working in Delhi
Sorry,
for them.
am I...
Yes, Yogendra, it's a very
Sorry,
sincere question to you, yes.
Yeah.
That would be equally suicidal.
Playing caste card would be dreadful. Playing caste card is against the ideology of Aam Admi Party.
Who was
Everyone
Salim in
has
Mewat?
reasons to expect us to be different. Can you please allow me to speak, whoever this person is?
Her name is
Whoever
Nupur
this person
Sharma.
is happens to be somebody from BJP. Sir, who was Salim in Mewat?
Can I respond to this? I just heard who was Salim in Mewat.
Yes.
Can I please respond to this?
Of course I want you to.
I have said not
because
once,
you go on
but
to say
not
that you don't
once,
play
but
caste
several-
politics, but you actually play communal and caste politics all the time.
Arnab, can I respond to this on your
Please
show?
do.
I have said not once but several times. It is on net all over. I have said that anyone who produces one bit of evidence to suggest that I used the name Salim in Mewat, I will quit public life. I have said it not once, I said it during election. I have challenged everyone to produce any audio visual evidence, and remember, every one of my speeches was being recorded. I will quit public life. I'm saying this on your show. Does it count for some kind of a statement?
But
Coming
this
back
was
to
also
Arvind
all over the
Kejriwal.
internet. Why don't you answer Ashutosh and Jarnail Singh and Arvind Kejriwal? Why have you left out Ashutosh and Jarnail Singh?
In order to answer all those questions,
Arnab,
I need
can I come in,
time,
please?
which I'm not getting. I'm listening to lectures. I'm getting no
Arnab,
time
can
to
I-
respond to.
No, you're listening to
Jarnail Singh
questions,
happens
no
to come from
lectures.
the area from where
You've not
he got
answered
ticket.
any question
Can you
except
now
for
listen to
agreeing
my
that actually
answer?
Arvind Kejriwal played caste politics.
Jarnail Singh got the ticket from the area where he was born and brought up. What makes it caste politics? You said
And
I
Ashutosh?
claimed my Haryanvi
Alright.
origins. Of course, yes, I claimed my Haryanvi origins because
You know,
I belong
Arnab,
to the area where I contested
The
my
choice and
elections.
positioning
Please,
of
can you now listen
candidates
to me?
during the last Lok Sabha
This
elections
is not
would
done.
be
You can't keep asking someone
And I
questions
think
and not get him
figures-
time to
I
respond.
think figures and data would speak for
you
itself.
asked me,
I have given examples.
look, I'll now go on answering the questions irrespective
And
of
I
what
think
anyone
the-
is
the-
saying.
the-
I
the
was
issue
asked
regarding
whether
Mr.
I used my
Ashutosh was
Haryanvi
all over the
origins.
media. In the
The answer
newspapers,
is
you also
yes,
did
I
a debate
did,
on it,
because
that if
I
I'm not
actually
wrong.
belong
Okay, now-
to the
These are
area
not
from where I
suppositions.
contested
These are
elections.
not
Yogendra
imaginary
Yadav,
And there is
accusations.
nothing
Yogendra
wrong in
Yadav,
saying that I
the-
belong to the
the
area
debate-
where I'm contesting elections
Right,
in.
the
You know,
debate
Arnab, what I'd
is...
like to say-
No, wait, one second. The debate is... You see,
It is
Yogendra
very
Yadav, you must understand this. There is...
disappointing to see Mr.
I
Yogendra
think
Yadav
there is
such a
something called common sense. Shazia wants to respond. Now, it's common sense. And you can say that the whole country, everyone's common sense is wrong. But the common sense is Arvind Kejriwal openly used the caste card. Argument was, you don't understand society, you don't understand English, you are English speaking type. Now, Yogendra Yadav, I want
You're
to
not
say this to you.
Krantikari enough.
You know, we reach out to a lot of people, and by the way, don't use this English speaking, non-English speaking. This channel does not belong to any elitist segment of society. So I resent Yogendra Yadav, these patronizing comments that politicians
most of
like
us,
you
by
throw.
the way, are bilingual
Today, what we have proven
people.
actually,
So it's not
Yogendra
as if
Yadav,
we
is
don't
that we
understand.
understand.
Arnab,
Yogendra Yadav, we understand
English and we
Hindi
can
better
speak
than
both
most
the
people.
languages.
And I'm asking you here today, Arvind openly plays the
Yes.
caste card. Should it be taken lying down? And should there not be a course correction? Arvind Kejriwal has never been a trader. I cannot say that my occupation has been a trader, so that argument does not work. All you need to say is, we did a mistake, we won't do it again, we are compromising on what we used to stand for. And Yogendra Yadav, why don't you understand that? If you compromise what you stood for, then people will question you. Nobody forced you to come out and say, we will not carry out caste politics. Nobody forced your party to say, you will not do religion or caste politics. You said it, you made the promises, you put it on your set of promises. If you do it, you will be questioned much more. Shazia, who was with you earlier, is asking a question, and then I'm closing. Shazia Ilmi. And then after that, I'm going to close, please,
no, this is-
Shazia, very briefly.
Arnab, I also need to put in a very quick point.
And I
Please
hope I
allow
will
me.
get
Yes,
time
this
to
is really
respond.
Yes, you will. Yes, you
This is
will.
not a question.
Yes.
No, this is really not a question, but to be fair, this is the nature of the beast. But when Aam Admi Party chooses to walk this path, it does become difficult for people to digest it. You see, when Anna Hazare movement happened, and this is coming from somebody who speaks, who is happily bilingual. I worked in a Hindi news channel. I was part of Anna Hazare movement when everybody thought it was RSS, where we said happily Vande Mataram.
Bharat Mata Ki Jai, and one was vilified for that also. I contested from R.K. Puram, and see, this is a great part about AAP when it started out. And there were hardly any Muslims, because I saw myself as an Indian citizen. And Aam Aadmi Party did give me that chance, and I lost by mere 324 votes. But when this party goes the way of other parties, and it just becomes a Me Too party, then that hope, that transformation, that seed of transformation that we thought you sought, that you created a civic identity beyond identity politics, that suffers. And I think that is the biggest disappointment of it all.
Absolutely. Now Yogendra Yadav, we are closing the debate on this one. We can think it through. No more rebuts.
Arnab.
No more rebuts.
Can I quickly...
Arnab,
Let our viewers decide whether or not the caste card was played. Ragini, Nupur, Yogendra Yadav, Shazia and Arati Jerath, I thank you very much. Okay, Yogendra, since you have been at the receiving end, you will have the last word. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm grateful to all of you for having raised it. You are absolutely justified in asking the question about caste, and if a question has to be posed to any party, Aam Aadmi Party should be asked this question, because Aam Aadmi Party raised more expectations, and my colleague Shazia Ilmi has more justification to ask this question. I respect those questions. Unfortunately, the entire thing is based on a complete misunderstanding. Caste card is played when a leader comes and says, I'm from this caste, you are from this caste, I'll give you these extra benefits,
again
I'll give you those things, I'll give you reservation, I'll give you...
Your audience was baniya, your leader was baniya. Are you understand? Oh my God.
Can the people also read between the lines?
Sometimes
your audience was baniya, your leader was baniya. You understand the dhandha. You played the caste card. Mr. Yadav, you agreed to the question.
I'm unable to convince my colleagues.
Your audience was baniya, your leader was baniya.
All right, I thank you very much for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank